So, okay, that's better. Okay, so I want to spend a little time this morning on the concept of a beracha. Concept of a beracha, and when berachot take place between parent and child, what it means, how it fits in the context of Kibbud Av Va'Em, of respect and honor and awe. So, yishtadlu ha'orim tamid levarech et yaldehem. A parent should constantly look to bless his child. Constantly.
One-way thing.
So let's see. Nice. Yishtadlu ha'orim tamid levarech et yaldehem. The parent should constantly find the possibility, the opportunity to bless a child. Bifrat, and in particular, be'erev Shabbat, k'minhag Yisrael, and particularly on Friday night, like is the minhag that we have. V'yesh lachush shema b'meshech hashavua. This is a very interesting part. V'yesh lachush, there should be a concern that shema b'meshech hashavua, in the middle of the week, at some point during the week, hikpidu b'ka'asu alehem. The parent got angry and was angry at the child, or kaptidatam alula lazik lahem. And this anger coming from the parent to the child is prone to hurt them. Now the question is how? How would it hurt them? Would it hurt them on some greater spiritual level? Would it hurt them on some practical level because the child knew? Let's see. V'achen habanim nohagim l'nashek yedei abihem ve'imam achar kiddush b'leil Shabbat. And therefore, because we have this general value of blessing our children as a general value, not as a Friday night task, but as a general cultural value to bless the children, ubifrat, and in particular on Friday night, and there's a concern that maybe in the course of the week, the child did something to aggravate or annoy the parent, and there's going to be a hakpada on the parent, there's going to be a roughness, a bearing down on the parent to the child, and that bearing down has the possibility of hurting the child. Now the question really becomes, like we said, how? Is it just in the normal human relations, or is it on some greater level? So again, let's see. But it's clearly in the normal human relations. So what we want to do is, if there was a friction point during the week, the child wants to go out of his way, or hers, to kiss mom and dad's hands on Friday night, in order to remove that. If there was tension, if there was distance, if there was friction, in order to remove that. Okay. Ba'orim mevahim otam. So lachen banim noagim nashek yedei avihem ve'imam. The children will kiss the hand of mother and father, achar kiddush, after the kiddush b'leil Shabbat. Ba'orim, and the parents will bless them. ובן נשוי המתקרב בסמוך להוריו, נכון והגון שילך בכל ליל שבת להוריו ונשק את ידיהם. What about a married son who lives in the area of his parents? A married son or daughter who live in the area of the parents, who are not going to be there for Shabbat, should make it a point to come before Shabbat, kiss the parent's hand, and get a beracha. Even if doing this will cause the son to make kiddush later in his own home. In other words, they live within a number of blocks of each other. The son is going to stop by the father's house to kiss his hand, and as a result of that, his kiddush will be delayed a little bit. We know on Shabbat, someone should be maher the kaddish. You should try to get home quickly after shul and make the kiddush right away. But even if this will cause a delay in the Kiddush, it's the right thing to do. Min hara'oi she'ben yilech etzel harav u'befrat be'ima shehi amana, and especially and particularly in a case where a mother might be a widow and alone, she'ben mekadesh avura. In that case, the son should go to the mother's house, even if at that point she's not coming with them to the night. He should go to the mother's house and he should make the kiddush for her and of course kiss her hand. But what about the wife of the guy who's going to go stop by his father or mother is objecting? Because the kiddush in her house, the meal is going to be pushed back, right? It's going to be made later. Nachon shabal yaspirla el hashivut mitzvat Kibbud Av Va'Em. The right thing is that the son, i.e. the husband, explains to her the importance of the mitzvah of Kibbud Av Va'Em, v'yeshachnea ota laskim lazeh, and he should convince her to agree. Ve'im b'chol zot hadavar mafli ala yaseh she'ilat chacham. He said, if it still bothers her, go ask a rabbi. In other words, you can't give it up that fast, even though a person has to give everything to his wife and so on. In this case, it's clear that the Kibbud Av Va'Em is more important. And in the case where if she does push back, then he should go ahead and ask a chacham. Okay, so let's... or go earlier. All right, or go earlier. Right? Right. But the effort has to be made. So let's see. So we understand from this thing that a son and daughter should kiss their mother and father's hands on Leil Shabbat. There's a discussion between the rabbis whether it should happen immediately when you get home from shul or after Kiddush. Al minhag is to do it after the Kiddush, so that's what we do. Let's say there's a conflict in that you don't live with your parent, you live nearby, and stopping by the parent will cause your Kiddush to be delayed, even though the halakha is, Shulchan Aruch halakha is that a person should be maher l'kadesh. When we get home, we should be quick to say Kiddush as quickly as possible in general, even though that's the general halakha. And for the women, the Kiddush that we say when we get home is mitzvah d'oraita. It's a biblical mitzvah. For the men, the Kiddush that we say when we get home is only a rabbinic mitzvah because we said we accepted Shabbat on the biblical side for the men in shul. So this is just a quick sidebar. The men have a rabbinic mitzvah to be mekadesh on the wine. The women have a biblical mitzvah to accept Shabbat through Kiddush, or to sanctify Shabbat through Kiddush. The men's biblical mitzvah was fulfilled in shul in the Amidah, when he welcomed Shabbat. But even though the man's mitzvah is now rabbinic, and the woman's mitzvah is biblical, the man still says the Kiddush, because he has an overarching ability to guarantee the well-being of the woman. Okay, good. In that context, there might be a point of friction. There might have been a point of friction between parent and child during the week. B'meshech hashavua, lachu shema b'meshech hashavua, hikpidu b'kasu alehem. There might have been a situation where during the week the parent got angry at the child, and the anger of the parent to the child would be mezik, will hurt them in some way. What might that mean? What do you think? Is it a cosmic thing? Is it a spiritual thing? Is it a basic thing? Will they pick up on it? It could be all. Very good. Good for you. Okay.
Can you get this meracha over the phone?
Yeah.
Your mother, if you're in Brooklyn, they're in Deal, you call them up.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Can women bless us?
Huh?
Can my mom give me a blessing?
Your mother should give you a blessing.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, parent and child. You should kiss your mother's hand, kiss your father's hand. V'hahorim mevachim otam. Both mother and father give the child a blessing. We don't see that very often. Hi. We don't see that very often, but we should.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so just a few other thoughts. Tikaven ki bechol en ze'at apin rachmo. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to touch on that. The Arizal says, the Kabbalistic, from the Kabbalistic approach, b'tenashek yedei imha b'chol leil Shabbat. You should kiss your mother's hand as well, and that's what we do. B'zeh Lashon Maran Hachida ba'avadat HaKodesh kishiyanashek yedei Av Va'Em. When someone kisses the hand of mom and dad on Erev Shabbat after the Kiddush, Ve'im achar abit b'or Shabbat yechaven lekayem mitzvat Kibbud Av Va'Em. It's beautiful. Hi, how are you? Yechaven lekayem mitzvat Kibbud Av Va'Em. What a beautiful thing. He says, we have the minhag to kiss a parent's hand after Kiddush. We have the minhag to kiss a parent's hand after Kiddush. Mom and dad. Kiss mom's hand, kiss dad's hand. Dad gives a beracha, mom gives a beracha. And one of the reasons we do it, the back-ended reason, is there may have been friction between parent and child during the week, and we want to dissipate that, we want to remove that. And now the Hiddah brings down a beautiful thing. He says that when the child is kissing the parent's hand, he should be mehaben, he should have the focus, the kavanah, the intent, that by doing so, he's fulfilling the mitzvah of Kibbud Av Va'Em. Beautiful idea, right? So I'm taking this gesture of kissing the parent's hand, and I'm framing it in the context of the mitzvah. Very, very nice. So I'm taking a minhag, right? To kiss the parent's hand, you started by saying that is a minhag. I'm taking the minhag and I'm reframing it in the context of a deoraita, of a biblical mitzvah, by having the kavanah to fulfill the mitzvah when I'm doing that. Very, very nice. בסוד הדבר הוא שהאימא היא בחינת בינה והאבי בחינת חוכמה. This is very, very nice. The Be'er Heitev brings down a different approach. He says that mom is the endowment, is the force, let's say, of binah, of discernment, right? The mother is more aware, women are more aware, they're more sensitizing in their distinctions between things. So when I approach my mother for a beracha from her, I'm asking her to give me a greater sense of discernment, of binah, of the ability to distinguish between two overwhelmingly similar things. And when I kiss my father's hand, my father represents chokhmah. Chokhmah means knowing a lot about a lot, right? The chacham, as we've mentioned in the past, knows a lot about a lot, as opposed to the mumcheh, the expert who knows a lot about his area of specialty, or hers, right? So when the son is kissing the father's hand, he's pining for a greater level of chokhmah. When he's kissing the mother's hand, he's pining for a greater level of binah. And when the father gives a beracha, he should be intentful in wanting to endow upon the son a greater level of chokhmah, of wisdom, of the ability to understand, the ability to connect things together and move successfully between them. And when the child kisses the mother's hand and the mother gives a beracha, she should have the intent of endowing binah, a discernment of understanding on the child. Yeah? Very, very nice. Beautiful, it's a beautiful piece. וכן כתב יעבד סידורו עמודי שמיים, שאז חל השפע, וראוי להמשיכו על הילדים. Beautiful. בייחוד שאין בכוחם להמשיך שפע במעשיהם. That the shefa, right, this beauty, this abundance, shefa is abundance, right? The abundance that comes with Shabbat, the abundance of beracha that comes with Shabbat has now entered, and the children, someone's children, don't have the same extent of access to shefa, to abundance, that parents do. For whatever reason. I don't know the reason. But he's saying that because the parents are, through the parent comes discernment, through the mom, through the dad comes chokhmah, wisdom. Shefa, abundance, also somehow seems to flow through them. And therefore they should be aware when they're giving the child the mitzvah, that the beracha, that they want to endow the child with binah, with discernment and understanding, with chokhmah, with wisdom, and with shefa, with abundance. And the child should have in mind when he's getting the beracha, that he is fulfilling the mitzvah of Kibbud Av Va'Em by enabling the parent to bless him. Good?
Maybe it's the parents to get like contentment from Shabbat, spending time with their family, like downwards, parent-child, and the child doesn't understand that feeling.
Yeah, beautiful. That's great. It's true. Right? It's great. Okay, so let's recap. A, we should bless our children. I'm sorry. A, our children should come to us. David, move over a drop so I could see them all. Our children should come to us. Our children should come to us before Shabbat, even if they're not eating by us for Shabbat. Our children should come to us before Shabbat to get a beracha from us. To Joey's point, if they can't come, pick up the phone. The child should pick up the phone and call and say Shabbat Shalom to the parent. Child has the obligation to come say Shabbat Shalom, and the parent to bless. I skipped a step. The obligation is for the child to come and say Shabbat Shalom. If he's coming to the house, great. If he's not, he should come by or he should call. The opportunity is for the parent to bless him. When the child comes to say Shabbat Shalom to the house, kiss mom's hand, kiss dad's hand. At that point, the blessing will be given. When the child kisses the hand, he should have in mind that he's fulfilling Kibbud Av Va'Em. When the parent gives a beracha, he should have in mind that he's bestowing chokhmah. The mom is bestowing binah. They're both bestowing abundance and success and shefa. And if there was any friction between the parents and child during the week, both should have in mind that it should be pushed away as a result of this thing.
And again, this is a one-way beracha.
Yeah. Right. You're saying why does the child bless the parent? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, wish him well, something.
I think by coming to say Shabbat Shalom, that's what's happening.
Depends on what happens.
Huh?
Sometimes it's just the obligatory drive-by. You know?
So it's the obligatory drive-by, then you did the action and you emptied the spirit of the action. Now, one other point on this, what does a parent do when he's giving a beracha to his child? We touched on this briefly, but let's go into it a little bit. What should a parent be doing when he gives a beracha to his child? What should he say? Other than the standard berachot that we say, what should he do? What is a beracha? A beracha is what? What else is it?
Potential.
It's potential, right? Excellent, perfect. The beracha is a hadracha. It's vision, it's direction, it's guidance. So when a parent says a beracha to his child, he should say something like, I know you're interested in this or that. I know you have a talent or a skill or innate strength in this or that. What I wish for you is to articulate it and build with it. I know you have a particular talent in X. I know you have a dream to achieve Y. That's the beracha should be the generic berachot, which is the Birkat Kohanim, and then the specific beracha that we say for boys and the beracha that we say to women. And then it should be a continuation. Your hopes and aspirations. I hope you build a beautiful family. I hope you build your children with love and sensitivity and Yirat Shamayim and this. I hope that your efforts in terms of your chesed manifest. The more specific it is, the more of a beracha it is. And we say that a beracha is prophetic. A beracha is instructional. It's directional, right? The most classic case being when Yaakov Avinu blessed his sons, right? It wasn't just do great, do great, do great. It was, you are going to live in the area of the coast of the land of Israel. And your sustenance is going to come from X. And you're going to live in the area of the hills and the mountains. And yours is going to be Y. And you, Levi, you're going to serve the people. You're going to be the leaders and the teachers, the religious leaders. So that's what a bracha should be. It should be thoughtful, and it should be directional. Good?
So it should be out loud. So it should be out loud.
100% out. Loud enough for the child to hear.
Right.
It's personalized.
It's personalized. Excellent. Yeah.
So, 2 questions. Why is the mother represented as discernment and the father as chokhmah? And I guess does that leave the child as da'at? And I guess the second question is, do those blessings change based off of their categories that we assign to them? So, for example, the father is chokhmah. Does he get
So
the blessing?
chokhmah is wisdom. So everybody is obligated to make his and her best effort to attain chokhmah. Chokhmah means to know a lot about a lot. To know a lot about a lot, right? Marish, you with me? You know this, right? To know a lot about a lot. A chacham knows a lot about a lot. And he or she is very comfortable moving from one area of knowledge to the other to take a direction, to make a decision, and that's the chacham. Good? Isaac? The navon, the person who has binah, knows a lot about a lot, and then could go one step higher in discerning very subtle differences between things. Discerning very subtle differences. The navon has a different level of acuity, of clarity. Now, because women are the highest level of creation, right? The woman was created last, right? When the man and woman are separated and the woman has an identity of her own, the woman has a closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's greater than we have. The woman has the ability to discern more successfully than us because she's closer to the ultimate knowledge, to the ultimate good, and therefore her tendency to manipulate and to is less than man's. Man has a tendency to rationalize, to manipulate intellectually, to make something work in his own mind. And very often, or sometimes, that's just simply a lie. You know, we're very clever, men are very clever, and we're very, very calculating, and we have this great rationalizing capacity. Women are much more pure and true and honest. They're much more honest. So they start with a better place than us. They're in a higher place on the overall pecking order, the highest place. Being that they're in a higher place, they have greater access to the truest truth, greater than we do. As a result of that, they're less prone to be self-manipulating, rationalizing, and so on. That's why the woman will overwhelmingly have a better understanding of something than a man. Overwhelmingly. And that's why the American perspective of we don't bring, we don't bring business home with us, we don't bring the office home with us is wrong. It's simply wrong. To bring the tediousness of a financial structure, that my wife might not have training in, into the conversation, doesn't make any sense, obviously. But to bring a strategic decision that's not tedious into the conversation is a very good idea. Because what you find with a woman is she's much more honest. Hi, good morning. A woman is much more honest. They're much less manipulative and self-manipulating than men. Naturally, inherently, forever. That's the way it is. So when you're about to make a strategic decision in a business, it's always a good idea to ask your wife. It's always a good idea. And it's important to listen. Because even though she may not know the industry or this or that, she's much more grounded, and her mindset and her thought process is much cleaner and clearer than a man's. That's just how it works. Now, of course, you have outliers. You have women who are messed up, or you have men who are geniuses, and okay. But in general terms, a woman embodies binah, which is the subtle distinctions between things, and very often something succeeds or fails based on a very subtle distinction. And that's the truth. So, that's why the woman will give a beracha based on her perspective, which is the nuances and the sensitivities. And da'at, when we say da'at means relationship. Da'at is when you take chokhmah, wisdom, add binah, discernment, yields a high-level relationship. Okay. That's what da'at means. Ba'adam yada et haba ishto means he had intimate relations with her. So da'at doesn't mean to know, it means to relate and to connect based on the other. Okay? So, good, great, we got it. Sion, minhag to bless our children every Friday night. Mom and dad, each bless the child. One step before that, it's a minhag or a mitzvah for the child to make sure to get to the parents' house, to wish him Shabbat Shalom, even if he's not eating there, to get to the parents' house, kiss his hand, kiss mom's hand, wish them Shabbat Shalom. After the child kisses the parent's hand, the parent gives him a beracha. The father gives a beracha from the context of chokhmah, of wisdom. The mother gives a beracha from the context of subtleties, discernment, nuances, sensitivities that the father may not get. One of the back-end reasons for the mitzvah is that there might have been tension and stress between parent and child, either overtly or subtly during the week, and we want to dissipate that. So the child should make every effort to get to the parent's house. The parent, mother and father, should make every effort to bless the child. The blessing takes place after the child kisses the parent's hand, and then the parent picks his or her hands up and blesses. Both men and women, both mom and dad. Good?
So if the child doesn't live near the parents, you should do the closest thing to it.
Yeah, call.
Them, right?
Yeah.
Call, don't text.
Call, don't text, right?
We'll go back to the beracha. The beracha b'shmerecha. That's the one. That's the.
So we
best
say, great, we say Birkat Kohanim.
That's the best one.
We start with that, then we say that we wish for them to, we say the one for the boys or the one for the girls, right? And then we say a very personal beracha. So we're really saying three things. We're saying the Birkat Kohanim, we say Ephraim Menashe or Sarah Rivka Rachel B'leah, and then we say something personalized and direct. Yeah? Hi, good morning. I know you're working on this. I know you're trying to build that. I know this is important to you. I know you have the potential and the opportunity to do Y. Go ahead. I wish it for you. I want it for you. I want to bless you to have it. That's what we want to be doing. And the more personalized the beracha is, clearly, the more effective it's going to be. Right? The more personal it is, the more effective it's going to be. Right? Good. Thoughts? Good?
What if the parents,
What?
what if their sense of guidance is just like off?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
That's a great question.
Let them give the beracha anyway. Let them give the beracha anyway. And now there's just a few other things. We'll just bring a few, just a few other things, a little bit from the Kabbalistic point of view and so on. En Satan upegara b'Shabbat shikatreg ala beracha. Unbelievable, beautiful point. He says that the Satan's capacity on Shabbat is either limited or out. And therefore, the Satan is not going to have the opportunity to prosecute against the beracha that the parent says. right? We know that there are negative forces, right? Some of those negative forces are outside of us, and they're real, right? There is a Satan, it's real. Some of those negative forces are outside. Some of those negative forces are inside. So we'd call it cynicism or something like that, right? Or fear or lack of confidence. So what Maran is bringing down is that when the parent makes a beracha, gives a beracha to the child on Shabbat, the Satan, it doesn't have the capacity to be mekatreg, to prosecute against that beracha on Shabbat. I.e., the beracha is much more potent because it's given in a platform where it can manifest much greater. Let's take an example. Let's say you give your child a beracha on a Tuesday. Right? Tuesday is a great day. Give your child a beracha on a Tuesday. Tuesday is not endowed with kavod, with shefa, with oneg, with kedusha, of all the things that Shabbat is endowed with. Therefore, the beracha that you give on Tuesday is good, but it's not the same capacity beracha. So I use the time, I use the place, the same way. You know, when I do something in Jerusalem, or I do something in Brooklyn, it's obviously not the same. Right? If I learn Torah in Jerusalem, I learn Torah in Brooklyn, it's not Torah as Torah. Torah is Torah up to a point. But the Torah I learn in Brooklyn and is not the same as Torah I learn in Jerusalem. That's pashut. Nobody can argue that point, right? So so time or place have an impact on the action or the words or whatever. They have an impact, right? So therefore, what I want to be doing is, I want to double down on Shabbat, because the opportunity of the negative forces on Shabbat to challenge the beracha that I'm giving my child are mitigated, are muted. I want to just make this point very, very strongly. A beracha in words in Judaism, we know, have the greatest power. They have the greatest power. You know, somebody will tell you that you told me something nice 30 years ago, and it changed my life. What are you talking about? I saw you in the street for a second. I knew you were doing a great thing. I wished you well. No, you don't understand. You told me that nice thing 30 years ago. It changed my life direction. It's fact. And it's not Western. Western, it's sticks and stones will break my bones, right? And words don't matter. In Judaism, it's the total opposite. It's all about words. It's all about words. And the words between a parent and a child are critically important. When a father makes a tisk, or his tone is negative, it's a disaster. You can wreck a child with that. It's very simple. You can wreck a child just with a tisk. What do you mean? It's tisk. I didn't even say anything. You didn't say anything? You said everything. Or annoyance, or a but at the end of the sentence that's implied and not said. These have massive impact on another human being. And we have to know that. We know that from our own experiences, right? A cynical tone. If you can't address your child's comment at that particular point in time because you're in a cynical place, close your mouth. Keep your mouth closed. Because, and we know this, it doesn't matter how old the child is. It doesn't matter how old. Their self-love and self-esteem is overwhelmingly dependent on their parent. Overwhelmingly. What do you mean? Guy's 60. His father's 90. He has a wife and 12 kids and umpteen grandkids, right? His self-esteem is still overwhelmingly in the hands of his father? Sounds crazy. It's not. It's true. It's a fact. So we have to know that. Parents, we have to know that. That son will have a great marriage and this, that. But if you wanna wreck his marriage, very easy. You wanna wreck a child's marriage, very simple. Subtly, slowly, over time, chip away at his self-love and self-confidence by being critical, and you will ultimately wreck his marriage. Pashut, we've seen it 1,000 times. What does he have to do with me? He doesn't live with me. He lives with his wife and his kids, this, that. Doesn't matter. A child and a parent are hardwired forever, And that's one of the reasons that we're learning what we're learning this summer, to show that that's absolutely interconnected no matter what you want to do. No matter what. You want to move to Antarctica, and your father's going to call you once a week and yell at you, he's going to wreck your marriage. But what do you mean? I live 8 zillion miles away. So what? He's still your father. And I see it. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen it 1,000 times. I'm not exaggerating. When a father does something wrong, for the opportunity for the child to recover is very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. And father rejects the child. Bring in the Marines, because if one father rejects one child, you need 800 people to get the kid back on his feet. If you can. If you can. That's the way it works. So therefore, if there's some distance, and by the way, I'm talking to myself as well as we're talking to each of us, right? If there's some distance between parent and child that may have happened during the week, which is possible, right? Life is complex. Money issues come up between parents and children, right? Children take liberties they shouldn't have taken, and they do things they shouldn't have done. We're not saying that we whitewash what a child does. Of course not. But we're saying that there's going to be hakpadah. There's going to be tough stuff, thing that happened during the week. Use Shabbat to push it out. If you're the son, call your father. Daddy, going to wish Shabbat Shalom. I love you. Have a beautiful Shabbat. Game changer. Game changer. Come to your father's house, kiss his hand, kiss your mother. How many of your children, I know my children don't, how many of your children kiss their mother's hand? Isn't that a terrible loss? Isn't that a loss? Kiss your mom's hand tonight, Isaac. All right, honey? Do you do it now? Do you kiss your dad's hand? No? Let's go. Do you kiss grandpa's hand when you go to his house on Shabbat? I've been yelling at your grandfather on this issue now for a long time. That's it. If he doesn't give his hand to you to kiss it, take his hand. Okay? Got it? Good? Good? Black and white. Mom, dad, grandpa.
I learned something a long time ago that says in order for a child to have respect for a parent, the parent's supposed to teach him respect by respecting him.
Very nice.
Like the father should love the child and respect the child.
Of course.
So that when he grows up, he's going to love his father.
Very nice. Very nice. Great. Very nice.
Rabbi, my parents used to, I guess, they didn't bless us growing up. Like, whatever, it just wasn't what we did. And I started kissing their hand, and they I never asked for a blessing, and now they bless us every week.
Awesome. Mom and dad. Isn't it great?
Meaning, like, you kiss their hand, and then it's like...
It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it gorgeous? No, I'm telling you, this could be point, paragraph, go home. Because this will change everybody's life. I'm looking at my dear Joey, who's been cynical on this point from day one, right? You're not a fan of this point. Very good. Okay. I want you to bring this change in your family, okay? Isaac, you're going to be the builder of this change, honey. Okay? First with mom and dad, and then with grandma and grandpa. Okay?
Joey.
Huh?
Never kiss hands, and my kids don't kiss hands. But I do kiss them every Friday night. Yeah. When I give them a kiss, yes, but not the end kissing as you thought. I'm just saying, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna call my great grandson through marriage. I'm gonna call my grandson through marriage, his son, and I'm gonna tell him to start kissing your hand. How's that? You gonna let him kiss your hand?
What?
Are you gonna let him kiss your hand?
I think I feel very awkward.
Why would you feel awkward? Let's take another minute on this. Gentlemen, let's go back a minute. I'm sorry, go back a minute. Let's do
I
that.
don't do it to rabbis either, by the way.
No, we're not talking about rabbis.
No, I know, but I know
We're not talking about rabbis.
These guys run and kiss rabbis. I don't do it.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. And I don't want to talk about that.
I do give them a kiss, and I do bless them every Friday night, whatever, you know.
Let me ask something.
What's the difference of kissing a chief rabbi's hand?
And chief rabbi's hand is one thing. But now we walk around kissing every rabbi's hand. I don't understand that. I just personally don't understand. I don't understand. You know, sometimes when you spread something good too far, it just obviates it. It neutralizes. It doesn't mean anything anymore. You know, and I don't go kissing my brother's hand and my sister's hand and my uncle's hand. I don't, right? If I did, it would be a joke, wouldn't it? Right? So let's see. If your father was alive, right? If your father was alive, would you kiss his hand?
Would I?
Yeah. Would you? No, I'm going to ask it differently. Sorry. If your father was alive, would you love the opportunity to kiss his hand? Yes or no?
He also used to give me a kiss. You know, I give a kiss on the cheek.
Very good. But you do both. But do both. But do both. Let me ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. Maybe you're the wrong customer for this question, right? If your father was alive, would you want to kiss his hand? Would you want to kiss his hand? I don't know. Would you?
No, because we never did it. So.
I know we didn't.
What is it? Does it change the feeling? You're going to love him more because you're kissing his hand?
100%. It's because there are things that are sensitizing.
So you're hugging and you're kissing.
But okay, good. So hug him, kiss him, and kiss his hand. Like this.
That step where it changes.
So let's try it. Let's try it in the Shabbat Shalom families. Let's try it. Okay, let's try it for a couple of Shabbatot. And let's just try it and let's see. Let's see what second generation says, right? Your grandson says, and let's see what the matriarch and patriarch say. Maybe it's not true. I would pretty much guarantee that it sensitizes, it opens up a piece of an. Sorry for this. Trying to experiment that way, huh?
You're opening up a gate.
You're opening a gate.
But there's no shutter down to begin with.
No. But just because it wasn't shut down doesn't mean it was accessed yet. It hasn't been accessed yet. There's a different level here. You're opening a door. I'm going to call it a different level of neshama-based love that we haven't accessed yet. Yeah.
Where does that concept come from? The kissing the hand. Is it just like a royalty thing, something you would do for a king, and that's showing a level of respect? Where does that concept come from?
Okay, so when I put my hands out to bless, right? Why do we have to put our hands out? Why put your hands out?
You're talking about the Kohen?
Yeah. Why put your hands out? Why not just stand there and bless? What am I putting my hands out for?
For the Shiva to come down on it. That's the Shiva. You want Hashem to not you. You want Hashem to help you give them the barakah that come through.
Very nice, Chamsion. Now explain it in this context. What do my hands do?
The right hand has all the barakah.
Right, always.
The right hand.
Always. When I put my hands up, I bring down. When I put my hands out, I bring down. Right? My hand is the way to transfer. It's the way to give. It's the way.
Pull it down.
Right, beautiful. I'm pulling it down. I'm giving it over. Beautiful. Very nice. Explain that.
It's the strong hand of Hashem that He gave it to us. That we have that same hand. We are like Hashem. We are
perfect.
We think we're more physical, but we're more spiritual. So if you work on your spiritual, you get much stronger. You see more with your vision. We think day and night is just day and night. There's darkness that we want to see right through it. And if you learn Torah, you'll see right through the darkness.
Excellent.
Wait, Rabbi,
listen to this.
The hand is the. Sorry.
My hand is my transference. My hand is my acceptor. I accept. Why do we wash our hands and feet when we went to the Bet HaMikdash or the Mishkan? Why not everything, right? Wash it, because it comes, the good comes through the hands, the tum'ah comes through the hands or the feet, right? That's where it comes in and it's given out. That's the receptacle, that's the transfer point. That's the conduit. Yeah, right? That's the conduit. Let me ask Joe. Why did we say last year, now I don't know if you remember your position on this point, but I don't forget these things. We talked about the idea of formalizing a deal. And we said, halachically, is a handshake a commitment? And my original thought was, I'm not sure. What was your position? Al pi halacha, according to halacha, right? My hand is my bond, right? My hand is my commitment. We studied it after, right? We touched on it. What did we find? It's absolutely true. So my hand is the way to reach you physically. My hand is the way to extend to you. Let me read you one other thing here. B'Sefer Keter Shem Tov, Katav, the minhag berkat avot the banim hu minhag atik yomin. Badrat kedusha chofefet alav. It's beautiful. He says the idea of blessing a child is an ancient custom. Badrat kedusha chofefet alav. And a hidur and a glorification of kedusha, of sanctity, dwells over it, sits over it. כמו שמצינו שיצחק בירך את פניו, ויעקב בירך את פניו בפני מותו. The same way that Yitzchak blessed his children, by putting his hands over them. And Yaakov blessed his children. והמנהג היום בארץ ישראל בסוריה, לברך את בניהם במשך חייו. בנשיקת היד ובאו בספר ראשית חוכמה, and so on and so on. וילמד אדם את פניו כשהוא קטן לנשק ידי אביו ואמו ורבו. He says here, the book Reshit Chochmah says, when a child is little, a parent should teach the child to kiss his hand. And in this case, he says the hand of the rabbi as well. And the father has an obligation that anyone who kisses his hand, the person whose hand is kissed, has the obligation to put his hands over him and give him a beracha. The father, the rabbi, the teacher, whoever it might be.
Yaakov and his kids, he never once saw that the kids kissed Yaakov's hand.
What's that?
Before he gave him his blessing and put his hands over.
That's right.
You never saw the first part that you're talking, that you're preaching, and you saw, yes, Yaakov put his hands over his kids,
right?
This and that, but you never saw, oh, the kids came and gave us father's hand.
Right, that's right. As they said, it's minhag atik. It's an ancient custom. But I want to take it out of the context of halacha and minhag for a minute. I want to just take it out of that context. Let's make believe it wasn't minhag atik. It wasn't an ancient minhag. Let's make believe it wasn't. Let's make believe we came up with this idea today. Let's make believe we came up with the idea today. Why would anyone object to it? Tell me why you would object to it. And at a time, we talked about a couple of days ago, the fact that we have a very, very challenging time for ourselves and our children. We really do. We have the greatest time, and we have a very, very difficult time for a couple of reasons. One is that it's dor hafuch, that our children in many cases, in some cases, know more Torah than we do. Therefore, there's a tendency, there's a little bit of something to think I'm a little better than daddy, or I can criticize daddy, or I'm holier than thou, or I can strut around in front of him. We see it all day long, everywhere, okay? It's the negative byproduct of the fact that our children have grown to a greater level of Torah. Are we thrilled about that? We are. Is there something that they should be managing better in terms of their own egos? Absolutely. They have a long way to go with that. Okay, very good. But that's the reality. The reality is that because of the hard, very hard work of this generation of parents and the generation before and the generation before and so on, we built a community of Torah infrastructure that's putting our children on a level that hasn't been in maybe 1,000 years. Very good. At the same time, the pace of change is incredibly quick. So there are many things that 40 and 45-year-old parents already can't do on a computer. And therefore, these two factors coming together, as disparate as they may seem, they confuse a child into respecting his parent less. What do you mean? I know more Torah than him. I know more Torah than him. You know, my father, you know, and by the way, son, can you come help me turn this computer on? I can't get it on. Give me a break. Give me a break. You can't get it on? Google it, AI it, shmei it, and turn the thing on. You know what, son? Sorry, but I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I know, but come on, I'm busy. By the way, do we ever hear this thing? Do you ever hear it from your children? Ever?
100%.
Yeah, right? Absolutely right. So there's inherent factors greater than individual factors that cause a child to stumble and to not respect his parent the way he must. And it's a fact. This is a massive failure in our generation. I think it's a massive failure. And therefore, we should be using all of the elements to drag things back. All of the elements. You come to my house before Shabbat to wish me Shabbat Shalom. That's what this family does. You call me every Shabbat. You come by. If you can't come by, you call me. Very good. You have to get home a little bit later. We saw Maran Shulchan Aruch says, you have to get home a little bit later. Let your wife understand that, I'm getting home a little bit later because I'm going to kiss my mother's hand. That's right. And I'm going to tell her Shabbat Shalom. Your children come over, it will be a different child. And again, I'm talking to myself. First and foremost, it will be a different child. If your child is kissing your hand, he will be a different child. Will he be as whatever, in the context of maybe his level of Torah or his level of computer sophistication? No. He'll be more sensitive. Grounded and connected, yes. Yeah.
How do you handle the son-in-law in this situation?
That what?
The son-in-law.
Oh, very nice.
You demand that he kisses your hand too? And then do you kiss your father-in-law's hand?
Should. Why not? Why not?
Mother-in-law?
Why not? Mother-in-law might be a little whatever. Mother-in-law probably not. I don't see, I have to check. I don't see an obligation to kiss the father-in-law's hand, but my son-in-law has kissed my hand. And it's great. And you know something interesting? Funny, but it's actually easier for the son-in-law to kiss your hand than your son. Because the son-in-law doesn't have all the head trips that the son has with you. Right?
Well then, let's say if I'm in my in-law's house with my son-in-law, and I have to kiss my father-in-law.
That's great.
I feel, even if my father's not in the room, I feel it's disrespectful to my father.
To your father because you're kissing the hand of your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, but he's saying, okay, look, you know, we didn't mention the father-in-law here. I do remember seeing something where you should. The mother-in-law you wouldn't, right? It's not appropriate, right? To kiss your mother with one hand. That wouldn't be appropriate for a son-in-law to do that. But father-in-law, I don't know why not. Is it disrespectful to your father? I don't think so.
Hold on, it's disrespectful to the mother-in-law if you're going to kiss the father-in-law's hand?
No, it's just not appropriate from a sneered point of view. That's not appropriate. I think everybody would understand that. It would be a little bit funny.
Also, Rabbi, like, beautiful the reasons we gave, but for me it was like just, it's about like when you kiss someone on an equal plane. Like, that was, to me it was about like, when you hug someone, it's almost like an equality, and like the kissing the hand is like, Norah. It's just the manifestation of Norah.
Meaning
like,
what?
Meaning the relationship with my parents is not an equal footing.
Well, that's right.
We're not buddies.
That's right, you're not buddies. That's right, we're not buddies. We are not buddies. We're not. And that's very important to know that we're not. What were you going to say, Joe?
Rabbi, I make my mother-in-law my best friend. She makes sure my wife is good.
Great. That's right. Nice. Okay. Good. וטוב ונכון שהאדם ירגיל את בנו הקטן לנשק את ידיו. טוב ונכון. Eddie, what does that mean?
It's the right way and good way to do.
It's a good thing and the right thing. Very good. שהאדם ירגיל את בנו. That a man should habituate his children לנשק את ידיו, to kiss his hand. And he mentioned here, v'yedei imo v'rabo. So maybe the kissing the rabbi's hand is more accepted than we said. Sha'ar gedolim, but he qualified. Sha'ar gedolim v'hasidim. Sha'ar gedolim v'hasidim. In other words, it's someone of greatness. But he's qualifying the parent with a gadol, with a person of greatness. V'chen minhag etzlenu asfaradim. And what Maran says is that we Sfaradim are much more on this minhag than the Ashkenazim. We're more on this than the Ashkenazim, which I think is very beautiful for us. Sarich lishtadel me'od, lekabel berkat aviv ve'imo afilu kol yemot hashana. Umikol sheken be'erev Yom Kippur. Very nice. He says a person should work very hard. A son should work very hard to get the beracha of his mom and dad as often as possible. And he says something beautiful here. He says, Umikol sheken be'erev Yom Kippur. And for sure on Erev Yom Kippur. Oh, very, very nice. So the parent, if the child is not going to see the parent before the starting of the fast, the child should call the parent. Of course, the child should apologize if there's any piece of pain or anything like that, and ask for a beracha, and the parent should give it. Okay, good. Do we have time?
Is this like only a Sephardic mincha? Like, do
Oh, we don't
Ashkenazim
have
do this
time.
also?
Huh?
Do Ashkenazim?
He's saying that we're more makpid on it than Ashkenazim. But this is very, very important as well. We mentioned this the other day, that we think with our hearts. Sfaradim think with their hearts. Ashkenazim really think with their heads. But really, the makeup is very different. And I was very made aware of this when I was teaching back in the day on Shabbatonim, seminars, that. I would take the same content and prepare it differently if I was teaching Syrian kids or Ashkenaz kids, because we really lead with our hearts and follow with our heads. That's the way we're built. And it's true, we're very heartfelt, we're very emotional, which is beautiful. And therefore, being that we lead with our hearts, that's why to me, this minhag of kissing the hands and giving the brachot and so on probably proliferated much more greatly with us. Because we are emotional, we are very emotional. And we need to stay very emotional. And we're not Western, and we're not even Ashkenaz. We're different, we're very emotional. And the emotion is raw, and the emotion is it should be really shared in an overt way. So to wrap this point together, it's a beautiful opportunity of affirming who your child is, enabling him to kiss your hand is for his growth, not for ours, and saying a pointed, clearly defined beracha. I know you want to develop your artistic ability. I wish that for you. I know you're learning this thing very intensely. I wish you to be successful. I know you want very much to have a child. I wish that for you. You know what it means to a kid? It means everything. Good. Questions, thoughts? Good? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I have 5 son-in-laws, and 3 of them don't have a father, so I became their father to those 3 that don't have a father, and I give them all the best.
That's a very big deal. That's a very big
You don't
deal.
have to wait for that far, but I'm doing it for all 5
Beautiful. Love it. Okay, gentlemen, thank you. Shabbat Shalom. We're learning tomorrow after first minyan and Sunday at 8 o'clock, God willing.